Good morning to my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. Today I'm going to go through a very interesting book entitled Crucial Conversations by an author named Kerry, Patterson, and this book was published on the 12th of September 2018. What we'll do is we'll just go through a few of the key learnings to see what we can pick up and what we can incorporate into our inventory of knowledge to be able to call on at times of need. So the first point that this author makes is the importance of identifying what a crucial conversation actually is. And we learn to recognize the different types of conversations. Conversations that are high stakes, lots to win and lots to lose. We look for conversations where emotions run strong, and we look for conversations where opinions may vary. And we also look for those conversations where the outcomes really matter. And the author gives us a framework to incorporate into our thought processes, and it's called the STATE model, and it helps us prepare. STATE as in S-T-A-T-E. And this model, when we break it down, is as follows. The S stands for sharing facts. Wherever possible, it's important when you're in a crucial conversation to initially share facts so that everybody's on the same page. The next one, T, represents tell your story. Make sure that you clearly and unambiguously articulate your story so that you're heard, and of course listen to the other side to hear them tell their story. Which leads us to the A, and the A represents ask for others' paths. Ask the other person to share their story so that you can hear them out, so that they can feel that they've been listened to and that you can understand where they're coming from. The T represents talk tentatively and not dominantly. It's important when you're having a crucial conversation to select and express the right tone, a tone that will empower both parties and is productive and will lead to better outcomes. And the last point that the author talks about is the E in STATE, and that is to encourage testing. So the third message from this text talks about the focus on safety and mutual respect, and we need to constantly look at creating environments where people feel both comfortable in expressing themselves in an honest and respectful way. And the next point is a beauty, where we need to master the what and how skills. The what skills involve clarifying your own goals and accurately understanding the other person's position and goals. And the how skills involve communicating clearly, effectively, and listening actively to what the other person has to say. And we need to recognize and appreciate and acknowledge the 4 conversation modes. The first one is the silent mode, where people hold back, and our job is to try and bring them out of their holding pattern. The next mode is called the voiceful mode, where people try to dominate the conversation. The The third one is the critical mode. Once again, another tactic used where people attack, go on the offensive from the very beginning. And the last mode that we need to consider is called the curious mode, where people seek understanding. So it's important to try and classify and understand the modes that people are using so that you can figure out how to work with them to get a better outcome. The next point that the author talks about here is to avoid the murder ball tendency. And this refers to conversations where people react defensively and escalate the conflict. The last thing you want to do is to escalate and to create division. So we need to avoid the murder ball tendency. And what the author suggests here is, rather than take it head on, what we should try and do is to aim for the ball in the air dynamic, where both parties actively listen to each other and contribute to a productive outcome, where we are able to complement and supplement what each person is saying so that we come to a common understanding and a common point. The next point number 7, is an absolute beauty. Use the yes and statement, and avoid the but statement. So wherever you can and whenever you're talking, always try and incorporate the yes and statement, because this technique acknowledges the other person's perspective while adding your own thoughts or ideas. But if you use the but statement or the yes but, this is destructive and a huge turn-off to most people. So wherever you can, use yes and as opposed to yes but, and it will help relieve a lot of issues and a lot of problems that are created by the word but. Be aware of strong beliefs is the next point. Recognize how your own strong beliefs can influence your perceptions and communication style. The author invites us to be detectives and to listen to ourselves as well as listening to others, because sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And the author then talks about the importance of moving from dialogue to action. You know, there are people who just want to talk it out and over and just bloody talk. But the author says here, at some point in time, we need to move from talk to action. So once you've reached an understanding, take immediate concrete steps to implement your agreed upon plan. Don't waste time. Whenever you can and you've reached that agreement, then start acting productively and immediately. And the last point that we need to consider from this book, from this author, is to continuously learn and grow. Mastering crucial conversations is a lifelong journey. Be open to feedback and seek opportunities to improve your own communication skills. Practice constant and never-ending improvement, where we lean just outside our comfort zone, and that is where the wow really is, and that's where life actually begins. So a wonderful book. So thank you very much for taking the time to join me on today's journey, where we talked about having those crucial conversations and some tips in terms of how to get through it and survive it. Yasas, take care, and bye for now.